Okay guys, so no matter what I do, I still get the yellow parking sign. My BMW X5 E70. I've tried resetting manually. I've tried to remove the fuses and put them back and other things, and so far no success to get rid of the yellow parking sign and get it to work. I've tried resetting ignition to 5 seconds down, release, 5 seconds up, release, and that annoying mark just doesn't get away. So I decided to give it a try and see if I can release the actuator or repair the actuator otherwise, and see if I can get a replacement off eBay if it has. I should mention that I used the manual release handle, the orange tool, to release the brake last week because I had to do that. It was the second time that it had happened. First time I released it, it just got back to normal after resetting it. Second time I released it and it just didn't get back to normal. So I think there's something inside the actuator that needs to be repaired, or maybe it's the cables, I don't know. So I'm reading a post that says the first step to do this is to get this little thing go down. So this is the emergency release cable. I'm gonna push it on the side and push it down so that I can release the cable from underneath the car. So underneath the car, you're gonna see two bolts, two screws that are holding this plastic apart on the bumper, and the cable kind of goes through the slot here. So you've got to open these two screws underneath the bumper and the cover just to take this cable out. Remember that you have to release the cable from its clips. There are 3 clips. One there, there's a second one here, and the third one is kind of inside. You can feel it with your hands. It's going to be a lot of mud, so make sure you protect your eyes. So the emergency release cable is now released, and here's the actuator. And the next step is to get to the actuator itself. This is where the cable was, and now release the socket. There is a clip there that you need to push with a screwdriver. Lighting is very important. Make sure you get good lighting as you do this so that you don't break this socket. Okay, so I unmounted the mounting tab, the 3 screws on the frame, and the 3 screws holding the actuator. This released the actuator, and I could undo the cap here on the driver's side cable. And after I did undo the cap there, I had to go in and turn the cable out. Just remember that the cable on the driver's side with this little square thing that's on there needs to turn clockwise to come out. Okay, after I got the driver's side, I pushed on this white little cap on the passenger side, and then kind of pulled the cable out, and this other cable came out much easier than the driver's side. So this is what we have on the passenger side, and this is what we end up having on the driver's side. And after that, the actuator can actually be released easily. Okay, now the actuator is out, and well, honestly, I don't know what's next, but I'll just open it up and see what could be wrong. So this is the inside. I did some electrical testing with the battery and made sure that the motor works. I disconnected the motor, connected it to the car battery, and made sure that it's turning. So this is the mechanism. I have a great feeling about this ribbon cable there. It's weird how your car would depend on something as flimsy as this, but I don't really know what's wrong with it. Just keep getting the code, but the motor seems to be working, and there is really no mechanical problem here that I can solve. I'm gonna just put it back on and see if it magically starts to work again. It sounds like an electrical issue, but maybe in this board, maybe in the connectors, who knows. Okay, so fast forward, what happened was that I bought this cable off Amazon for $20. I used the Beamer Geek website software and a combination of the driver that was on the CD that came with the cable and the software that was on the website. I installed it on COM port 1, did all the software installation steps based on what was on that website and on the files that I downloaded there. So I could connect to the car. It took about 2 hours to basically get this cable to work, but it did work. I went to the parking brake menu, reset all the codes, deleted all the codes, and reset the parking brake. Then I disconnected all the parking brake fuses. I could actually I could hear that the actuator is now working, but the yellow parking brake light continued to blink. So what I did next, I disconnected all the fuses, put them back again, fuses related to the parking brake, and reset the parking brake by the pedal and parking brake button method that you should know by now. And it started to work. So there was basically no problem with the parking brake actuator. It was the error, the computer error on the car that prevented it from working. My diagnosis is that there might have been some electrical issue, some loss of voltage in the car because it's just beginning of the winter now, and so for whatever reason the parking brake jammed, and then there was a permanent error in the computer that basically prevented the parking brake actuator from working, and the only way to get it to work was to delete the errors on a car computer. That can be done either with this cable or at your local dealer or local repair shop. The whole project for me took a couple of days really thinking and reading, and a couple hours at the car, taking the brake apart and putting it back together, and $20 in cost to get it to work. And believe me or not, it's working now. The only problem was the code. Here we go. Now the next thing I'm going to tackle is the tire pressure monitor that's been bothering me. No one's been really able to say what the problem was. Now I'm going to see if I can do something with my new toy, the cable thing, to just turn this mechanism, turn it off. All right, have fun, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments.